Hey, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Count Jinsula, and welcome to today's Pokemon GO video. Now, I want to discuss Mega Evolutions and kind of put a spotlight on this one feature. More specifically, I want to talk about how this feature has impacted Pokemon GO and what Niantic could do to improve this feature moving forward. I do think that Mega Evolutions can make Pokemon GO a much better game if Niantic improves the system behind it. I also think there are still a lot of things to look forward to with Mega Evolutions that I think more players should be paying attention to. That's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. Okay, so let's talk about Mega Evolutions. Now, in case you didn't know, Mega Evolutions are a temporary evolution to certain Pokemon, making them extremely powerful and a source of game-changing bonuses for both you and other players in raids. When you Mega Evolve a Pokemon, you can get increased amounts of candy per catch from any Pokemon that shares the same type as your Mega Evolution. You can also provide a major damage boost to the Pokemon of other players when you use it in raids. Overall, Mega Evolutions are extremely powerful, and they can elevate your gameplay a tremendous amount. Unfortunately, most players will flat out ignore Mega Evolutions because of the way Niantic set up the in-game systems around it. This is the first thing I want to talk about. How can Niantic fix the current Mega Evolution system that will allow players to engage more frequently with it? I think it all comes down to how you can obtain Mega Energy, which is the resource required for Mega Evolving your Pokemon. Currently, the best way for you to get Mega Energy is through Mega Evolution raids. These raids are hard enough where you can't solo it, and unrewarding enough where most players will not want to raid them en masse. In other words, you need to have a group of players in order to get Mega Energy, but not enough players are interested in helping you. In my opinion, the problem with this system is not so much the Mega Energy itself, but the lack of methods for getting enough of them to Mega Evolve a Pokemon. The first time you Mega Evolve a Pokemon typically requires about 200 Mega Energy, which means you will need to do about 3 Mega Evolution raids of that Pokemon in order to get enough Mega Energy to Mega Evolve it. Once you do, the Mega Energy cost is substantially reduced for that Pokemon thereafter. You can also start collecting Mega Energy of that Pokemon by walking it as your buddy. But since you only get a small amount this way, you will still likely need to do even more Mega Evolution raids if you want to Mega Evolve it again. Sure, there are solo activities that reward Mega Energy outside of Mega Evolution raids. These include field research tasks and the buddy walking method I mentioned before. But these methods don't give you a whole lot of Mega Energy for the time you invest into it, and most times they don't give you the specific energy that you need. In other words, Mega Evolution raids are still your best bet for at least getting that first Mega Evolution. This is what needs to change. Niantic should implement different ways for getting high amounts of Mega Energy outside of what's currently there. The first thing that comes to mind is the Go Battle League. I really like the idea of having Mega Energy as a reward for your performance in Pokemon GO's player versus player gameplay, especially in the inevitable case where you are able to use Mega Evolved Pokemon in trainer battles. Right now, Mega Evolutions are not allowed in the Go Battle League. I'm pretty sure this is because of gameplay balance reasons, but considering how Mega Evolution mechanics are approached in pretty much every other Pokemon game, this makes no sense whatsoever. Mega Evolutions should be tied to trainer battles before anything else, as it always has been a core feature of battling rather than raiding. It just seems like Niantic took a completely backwards approach to Mega Evolution for Pokemon GO, which is likely why not a lot of players prioritize it. Not only should Mega Evolutions be integrated into player versus player battles, but you should be able to get Mega Energy from those battles as well. Of course, implementing Mega Evolutions into the Go Battle League would fundamentally shift the entire game mode, so I'm sure Niantic is treading very carefully. It's probably why we still haven't seen it yet, but I do think they need to expedite coming up with a solution to this. Introducing Mega Evolutions into the Go Battle League would most certainly spice up the gameplay and create a reliable source for getting Mega Energy outside of raids. I think this would solve many problems with the Go Battle League and the Mega Evolution system in one go, as long as Niantic does it well. Okay, so since we are on the topic of Mega Evolutions and the Go Battle League, let's discuss what kind of impact this would have on Pokemon GO. I'm fully confident that Mega Evolutions will eventually be a part of the Go Battle League. Like I said, I think Niantic is still trying to figure out how they can balance it. As it is right now, Mega Evolutions would completely dominate the Go Battle League meta, especially in the Master League. Sure, you could probably restrict it to one Mega Evolved Pokemon at a time, but it would essentially become a rock, paper, scissors game where the winner will likely be determined by whether or not their Mega Evolved Pokemon counters their opponent's Mega Evolved Pokemon. Now, I think the obvious solution to this would be to add several restrictions and unique mechanics that only affect Mega Evolved Pokemon. If I were designing their implementation into Go Battle League battles, I would have it so that Mega Evolved Pokemon are forced to be the lead Pokemon, and you cannot switch to another Pokemon until they are knocked out. You could also restrict shields while a Mega Evolved Pokemon is out. This adds an element of strategic risk towards using Mega Evolved Pokemon. Yes, they are going to be your most powerful Pokemon on your team, but if your opponent is fully ready for it, you may be put in a horrible disadvantage. I think Niantic's aim for implementing Mega Evolutions into the Go Battle League is that they are completely optional. It should be just one of many tactics you could use when engaging in player versus player battles. There ought to be as many downsides to the many upsides when using Mega Evolved Pokemon, much like how it is when using Shadow Pokemon or cheese strategies like Charm teams and Grass Hole teams. They could also do nothing like this and just allow players to use Mega Evolved Pokemon like any other Pokemon. This would certainly break the Go Battle League for a while, but I do think the meta would eventually balance itself out as more Pokemon get released. Thus, it wouldn't be a permanent issue, but it would take some time before it would get sorted out. However, regardless of whether or not Niantic places any restrictions on Mega Evolved Pokemon in the Go Battle League, what we need first and foremost is more Mega Evolutions. Implementing this feature into player versus player battles is contingent on how many Mega Evolutions are available at the time this implementation occurs. As of the time that I'm recording this video, there are 18 different Mega Evolutions released in the game. While the list of available Mega Evolutions is pretty diverse, there should be even more added to the game before they are implemented into the Go Battle League. This would allow for a better amount of checks and balances, and overall a more diverse meta. It's like I said before, Mega Evolutions would instantly become meta in the Go Battle League once they are released. Thus, I think Niantic needs to make sure there is an inherently large pool of counters to each Mega Evolution. That way, the game mode wouldn't be broken by just a few Mega Evolved Pokemon with little to no counters. Okay, now that we've explored how Mega Evolutions can be implemented into the Go Battle League, let's now discuss what Niantic could do to improve the system as it currently is. As I've stated before, the Mega Evolution system is contingent on how many Mega Evolution raids you do in order to obtain Mega Energy. The gameplay loop seems simple enough. You just have to do Mega Evolution raids, get Mega Energy to Mega Evolve a Pokemon, then do more Mega Evolution raids for more Mega Energy so that you can Mega Evolve that Pokemon again. This entire system is extremely punishing for casual players who don't spend tons of cash on raid passes and prefer solo content over group raiding content. Something that I kind of wish Niantic would explore is adding some sort of Mega Bracelet item that you could use to bypass the initial Mega Energy cost when you use it. This could be a one-time use item or a permanent item that has a long cooldown. The way I would implement it is pretty simple. I would essentially want it to replace the current system. Instead of collecting Mega Energy for specific Pokemon, you can charge up your Mega Bracelet by doing Mega Evolution raids or other activities. Once you fully charge it up, you can use it on whatever Pokemon you want to Mega Evolve. I would much rather have this sort of system over what we have now. It would be much more streamlined and would encourage me to do more Mega Evolution raids regardless of what the boss currently is. Especially now, where if the raid boss is not a Mega Evolution that I need, I'll pretty much flat out ignore it. Regardless, they should at least add some sort of item like Rare Candy that gives you Mega Energy. One of the most frustrating parts of the current system is that I will have a tendency to use certain Mega Evolved Pokemon more than others, yet that particular Mega will not be in the current raid rotation. This results in me depleting my stock of Mega Energy for that particular Pokemon really quickly, and there's no reasonable way to replenish it. I think either a Mega Bracelet mechanic or a Rare Candy mechanic would be the easiest fix to this issue. Okay, so now we are getting close to the end of this video. And before we go, I want to quickly touch on what I believe will be coming to Pokemon Go when it comes to Mega Evolutions. Like I mentioned earlier, I do think that we will get Mega Evolutions to be available in the Go Battle League. I think this has been in the pipeline for a really long time, and it's likely that Niantic will test this out really soon here. I predict that one of the special cups of this current season will feature Mega Evolutions for the first time. Since there is no rating, this would be the perfect opportunity for Niantic to test it out. Likewise, I think there will soon be enough Mega Evolutions released into Pokemon Go that will have enough variety so that the meta is not dominated by just a few Mega Evolved Pokemon. I could be wrong here, but I would say Mega Evolutions being allowed into the Go Battle League could happen as soon as this summer. I also think Niantic will launch new methods for getting Mega Energy aside from what we have now. I don't necessarily know what and how they will do it, but there will be additional ways to get energy in the future. And finally, we will be getting Mega Evolutions for legendary Pokemon pretty soon. I do think that this will completely change how we play Pokemon Go, and that's pretty much a fact. I mean, just imagine how rating will be with Mega Evolved Pokemon like Mega Mewtwo or Mega Rayquaza. It could make some bosses able to be completed solo, whereas before you would have needed at least one or two other players. There's just a lot more possibilities for some unique and fun gameplay with more Mega Evolutions. I'm pretty excited to see what the game will be like later on. Hopefully Niantic has their ears to the ground when it comes to this stuff, and they execute these sort of updates in the near future. Anyway, these are a few thoughts that I had regarding the current state of Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Go. There's a lot of potential with this system. It's just a shame that Niantic hasn't met that potential just yet, but I do think that the future is bright when it comes to this system. But let me know your thoughts. Are you excited about the future of Mega Evolutions, or is this something that you've completely forgotten about? Let's have a great discussion in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support this channel in any way, then do consider checking out the links in the description below. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Count Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.